Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of After the Whistle, Wednesday, January 16th. And we are here, middle of the week. We're back. Me and Todd are back. What's going on?
Nothing, man. Trying to get through the cold.
Yeah.
Trying to get through this cold.
Yeah, same here. It's freezing. We got a lot to talk about. We got the Divisional Round recap going on, and also we'll catch you guys up on Championship Weekend. But first, we're going to start off with, this was allegedly supposed to be the end of the dynasty. The run was supposed to end during this game. The Patriots were dead in the waters. It was over for them. Brady was noodle-armed. Gronk was a shell of himself, and the Chargers were up-and-coming team, allegedly, with talent all around, but yeah.
Yeah.
Not so fast. Not so fast. This game was over after the first quarter.
Yeah, I was gonna, try to be nice about it and say it was over at halftime, but definitely we was watching it. Yeah, it was over after the first quarter. They were done.
Yeah, and I thought it was actually going to be a good game because the Patriots take the opening drive, march down the field, score. Then the Chargers on their first drive of the game, four plays, and they get the touchdown. And you think, okay, we might have a good one here. And then the Chargers just couldn't stop the Patriots. The Patriots were doing whatever they wanted to them. The running attack, Sony Michel, 24 carries, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns. They were just doing anything they wanted, and the Chargers had no answer for it.
Yeah, and Chargers, they love playing in that 70, 80-degree weather out there in San Diego. Yeah. So this type of cold, this past week and a half, has been brutal. Yeah. So 15 degrees, 14, 20 degrees, and you have to condition yourself to play in that stuff kind of all year. That's why the Patriots was playing in it all week.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that they traveled from Los Angeles to Baltimore, fly back to Los Angeles, then fly back to the East Coast. They were better served just staying on the East Coast.
Yeah, they should have just stayed in Baltimore if they had no real reason to go back to the Chargers facility.
Definitely, because that jet lag is a serious thing, and you going back and forth, that travel time it's gonna catch up to you.
And that weather though, the weather is big just because I get it. They all played in, I want to say, crucial weather times in their career in high school, college, but in the pros, when you consistently play in cold weather compared to somebody who doesn't, them hits hurt after a while, especially you look at the scoreboard.
Yeah, no, when you're falling behind 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, it's getting a little colder than it would be if you were going back and forth with them. But some notes from this game, Sony Michel I talked about, he had 24 carries, 129 yards. The Patriots, when he rushes for over 100 yards, they're 4-0. He did that 4 times this season. And also the Patriots defense, they held Keenan Allen and Mike Williams to combine 7 catches for 143 yards. Allen, who averages 6 catches a game, he only caught 2. So they did a great job on them.
I mean, they did what we asked for them. Yep. We asked them to contain. They did a little better than that. And with Sony Michel, he's big for the Pats because he's going to allow Brady to maybe play 4 or 5 more years just because the run attack is so tough. Yeah, and it's balanced now, and you don't know what to expect from the Pats now.
They got the 1-2 punch with him and James White because James White caught 15 passes out of the backfield. So you got those 2 guys going, and the Patriots offense, they didn't make no mistakes, no interceptions for Brady, no fumble, nothing. They played their game. And the Chargers never adjusted. Also, look at the Chargers, their running attack. Melvin Gordon had only 9 carries for 15 yards, one yard per carry. So you're not going to win in the cold if you're getting 1 yard per carry. That's just not going to happen. And Phillip Rivers, he was yelling at the refs the whole game. Every time I turned around, he was yelling at the refs.
Yeah, he just wanted to yell at somebody. He was just mad because he didn't play awful, but his tools. How many touchdowns did he have?
He had 3, but they didn't score for 3 quarters. They didn't score after the first drive. They didn't score again until the 4th quarter.
So on paper, it looks like he played pretty well.
Yeah,
but we watched the game. It was tough. I mean, you watched it a little more than I did. I ain't watching this trash game. The game's over. Yeah. I didn't waste my time with that game for the most part after the second half.
Yeah, definitely. The Chargers defense, they were supposed to be this dominant defense. They were supposed to good at getting after the quarterback. The Patriots' offensive line really shut them down. They did. They got no type of pressure on Brady for the most part.
And the game was a walk in the park for the Pats, to be honest with you, man.
Yeah. So
it was. We thought it was going to be a better game. I'm sure everybody in America thought it was going to be a better game, but the Pats just showed that they're ready.
Yeah, everybody in America thought the Pats were going to lose too.
Well, I didn't think that. But
well, I mean, sane people didn't think that, but you know, people that are tired of seeing the Patriots always advancing and winning, they're just, you know, they want to see.
You can't get tired of greatness. Just
really
embrace
can't.
it. Just embrace it.
Yeah, this moves Brady to 8-0 against Phillip Rivers, or 9-0. 8-0, 3-0 in the playoffs. So, I mean, Phillip Rivers, you might as well. That's terrible. That's terrible.
I mean, happens.
Yeah.
Happens.
Yeah, it happens. On to the other AFC divisional game. This one we thought was going to be a good one too. It had the potential to be good, but too many Colts mistakes. The Chiefs defeated the Colts 31-13, and this game, there were moments where the Colts could have got back in this game, but they just mistakes. The Chiefs scored on their first two possessions. The Chiefs really hit them hard. They hit them. They did to Indy what Indy did to Houston the previous week. They came at them real quick, and Indy just never recovered.
And there was so much pressure on Luck that game. Like, the Chiefs' defense looked incredible. Like, the way things they were doing to Luck. So it was just they were rolling on both ends.
Yeah.
Offense was rolling, defense was rolling. It just looked like that team right there, nobody was going to be able to stay in front of them that game.
Yeah, definitely. And another team that used the rushing attack, Damian Williams, 25 carries for 129 yards. They stuck with they just showed that they're just they're just going to spread you out and pass the whole entire game. They actually were balanced. And also, the first touchdown drive was 5 plays, 90 yards, just like that. So
they were clicking, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, something like that, they were clicking, just like the Pats. They're ready to go. They're playoff ready.
Definitely. And the Colts, they had moments to get back in this game. Right before the half, they could have cut the lead down to 7 points, to 17-10, but Vinatieri, he misses a chip shot field goal that we've seen him make consistently. And then when the Colts scored on a 30-yard touchdown pass to T.Y. Hilton, he misses again. He misses an extra point. So it was just like, okay, it's just not y'all day.
Yeah, definitely. When Vinatieri's missing multiple field goals, if he's missing one field goal, that's rare. But missing multiple, that's unheard of. Yeah. I mean, their luck just ran out. No pun intended, but it just ran out.
Yeah, and, you know, their defense didn't play bad. Despite those first two quick scores, they settled down. They made some plays. They had a block punt. They had a turn. They forced a fumble, and then Kansas City just forced a fumble back. So they were, I don't know. They look like a dome team pretty much. They look like a dome team.
Well, I was gonna say they play in the dome as well. And once that cold weather hits, it's different. It's instant. Like I said, you start seeing that scoreboard, and you start wondering how long you want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah, they got nowhere to go but up here, but Patrick Mahomes didn't even throw a touchdown pass. That showed you how lethal the Chiefs are. He doesn't throw a touchdown pass for the entire game, but he had no interceptions as well, but the Chiefs there. So it's on to the Chiefs and the Pats in the AFC Championship game. We're going to get to that in a little bit, but first we're going to go on the NFC side, and the Cowboys' defense just got exposed by the Rams. The Cowboys, some of their defensive players, DeMarcus Lawrence, he was talking that trash, saying that if you hit the Rams in the mouth, what are they going to do about it? The Rams hit them in the mouth, and the Cowboys didn't know what to do about it because they ran all over that defense.
Yeah, they did. I mean, C.J. Anderson had 23 carries, so 123 yards.
Yeah.
It just shows.
And he's only been with them for 4 games, 3 or 4 games, 3 games.
Yeah, I remember after the game he was talking about just getting an opportunity, getting a chance, consistently having to prove himself, and he proved himself against the Cowboys.
And for the Cowboys, we've said it all along. If you stop Ezekiel Elliott, your chances of winning, you've got a high percent of winning, and that's exactly what it did. He only had 47 yards and 20 carries. So Dak, he played well, but he didn't play well enough. He didn't make enough plays. Besides that one, he made 2 big passes. One to Gallup that got them down to the goal line for him, and he snuck in for a QB sneak for a touchdown. And their first touchdown of the game was to Amari Cooper, that 30-yard or 40-yard touchdown run. But after that, Amari Cooper, he really didn't do much during the game.
I was gonna say yeah, because Gallup really was the high guy with 6 receptions for 119 yards. Yeah. But Dak played regular season football that playoff game. He didn't play playoff football. In playoffs, you got to do more. You just have to do more. You have to win. Like,
and we talked about the Rams. Their recipe is, Todd Gurley's the best player on their team. And anytime he runs the ball more than 15 times, they win the game. Anytime during the season where he touches the ball more than 15 times, they win the game. This game, 16 carries, 115 yards. I got it right here. The Rams were 10-0 during the regular season when he had 15 or more carries. And the games they lost during the regular season, they lost to Philly, the Bears, and the Saints. He had 12 carries, 11 carries, and 13 carries. So he's the engine for that team.
And it's going to be hard to beat the Rams when your second running back got over 120 yards as well. So and Goff played solids. You know what I mean? 15 for 28, 186 yards. He could have did better, but they didn't really need him to do.
Yeah, it wasn't mind-blowing numbers, but he did enough just to not mess up, not to screw it up. And he had the biggest play of the game when he rushed for the first down on 3rd and 7 when the Cowboys needed to stop. And that allowed them to kill the clock. But back to C.J. Anderson. Look at these games he had. So on December 23rd, he had 20 carries of 167 yards and a touchdown. On December 30th, he had 23 carries for 132 yards and a touchdown. This game, 23 for 123 yards. You got a dynamic duo like this going into New Orleans, where you're going up against another point offense. You're gonna need that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So.
Definitely.
Yeah. Also, we have to look at the Rams' defense. They stepped up. The Rams' defense, they've been maligned all season. They haven't played to their expectations, but they stepped up.
Ezekiel only had 47 yards. Like, usually he's going to go for at least 80 to 100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And there was that big fourth and one play. They stopped Dallas on 4th and 1. It was a crucial time in the game. Dallas was trying to cut the lead. And, Ndamukong Suh made a big play. So kudos to the Rams' defense. Let's see if they could actually keep the momentum going. And as we look at the other NFC game, the Eagles and the Rams, we thought Nick Foles' magic was going to happen again. They jumped on the Saints real quick, 14-0 in the first quarter, and that was all they did for scoring. They never scored again for the rest of the game.
I didn't like the feel of that game. I was watching with a friend of mine. He's a diehard Eagles fan. He was sitting screaming in my ear the whole first quarter, and I just told him, like, I know you're excited, but I just don't like the feel of this game for the Eagles just because the Rams were just doing stuff. My bad. The Saints were doing stuff they never do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Breeds, we did had like a fumble or something like that.
Like, interception, the first possession, their first possession of the game.
Yeah, so deep interception too. Like, and they're just things that he just wasn't doing once they settled down, because they had a 2-week layover too, right? You know what I mean? So they had 2-week rest. So once they got them cobwebs out, it was over for the Eagles. Yeah, they definitely helped them.
Everybody's gonna say Nick Foles' magic and stuff, but after that first quarter, he really, I've been saying I don't know how he's doing it, but he's really not that good. He's a decent quarterback, but he's not as good as we've been perceiving him to be. And it just showed it. He didn't play well in the playoffs. He didn't play well at all in the playoffs. He had moments where the Chicago game where he had that last-minute touchdown, the first quarter of this game, and also in the fourth quarter, they were driving. But, it's not his fault, but Alshon Jeffrey, out of all the people on that team who I would see who had sure hands, I didn't think that would happen to him. I was like, when I saw that, my eyes got big because I'm like, I actually feel bad for him because that dude never drops anything.
Yeah, but you're not going to win a playoff game when your your running back has 33 yards, and that's the high for your running back, and the high for your wide receiver is 63 yards. Like, that's just not a formula to win anything, not even high school football for the most part.
Yeah, and they couldn't stop Michael Thomas either. Michael Thomas had 12 catches, 171 yards.
That man was catching everything.
Everything. And they never even bothered to double team him because they single covered him the majority of the game. You would think at some point you're going to double team the guy because he was whoever was guarding him had no chance.
I don't understand like things like that when they happen in high, I want to say, games that mean a lot. Like, why wouldn't you double team? Why wouldn't you make adjustments in the second half? Yeah. Why wouldn't you do the simple things that you do every other game?
Maybe they got too full of themselves or too short, especially when you don't have, their defensive backs aren't regulars. They're backups. So you would think, let's get these guys some help. But they made some plays, but when it counted, they couldn't make the stops that they needed. The Rams went. I keep saying the Rams. The Saints went on an 18-play drive in the third quarter that took about 9 or 10 minutes of the game. So you're not gonna win too many games. That gives their defense time to rest, and boom, you get the result that you get. So now we got championship weekend. I'm glad the Eagles lost outside of them. Quickly before we move on, Nick Foles, you think he should sign with a new team or stay with the Eagles? I think he should stay with the Eagles, personally.
The Eagles love him. Philly loves him, and he's not even your starter. He's your backup that does well. Honestly, just stay there. You probably didn't have to pay for food anywhere he goes out there. I would just stay in Philly if I was him.
Yeah, I would stay there. I mean, not have to do too much. Just be ready when my name's called, and you know.
He's a backup getting starter love. Like you might as well stay there.
And we've already seen. I'm telling you, we've seen him outside of this type of offense. He's not, you know. Besides that one season, he had that 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He hasn't really been that good after that. So I think he should stay there, be the backup. You know, if Wentz got a history of being injured, so you know the offense, and you know this. I mean, the motto in life is to work smarter, not harder, and just
stay there.
Just stay there. So, I mean, whatever you do, stay in Philly. Back to the championship weekend. Big game this weekend. Arrowhead Stadium. Patriots, Chiefs, Arrowhead Sunday night. This is the second meeting of the season between these two. The first meeting, the Patriots won 43-40 on the last-second field goal, and it's going to be freezing over there. I heard it's going to be below in the negatives. The weather's going to be in the negatives. They got winter advisory or wind chill advisory. I forget. So. I don't know. First thought about this game.
It ain't gonna matter to either team because the Chiefs, they're used to that. They live in it.
Yeah.
And the Pats, it ain't no negative, but we'll be able to deal with it. Mm-hmm. It'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah, and the thing with this game, they have to stop Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, they have to stop him because that man is live. Anytime he can make a big play. That's the number one guy on that offense that you have to stop. Mahomes is going to make some plays here and there, but you can't let Tyreek Hill get loose in the secondary and get these 50, 60-yard touchdown passes. And then, because that's going to get those crazy fans enthusiastic. Then the defense is going to get enthusiastic. And then, you know, the last time the Patriots were in Arrowhead, it was the Arrowhead Massacre. 41-14. Brady had a nightmare of a game. He had 2 interceptions. One of them was returned for a touchdown. So, maybe they could, get some redemption from the last time they went over there.
If they contain the wide receivers that we talked about last game, Mahomes isn't really going to be able to do much just because he needs targets to throw to. Mm-hmm. So we contain the wide receivers and do our best with the run, we'll be fine. And Tom Brady comes to play and anybody else comes to play like last game, we should be all right.
Yeah, the Patriots pass rush, it's gotten a little better. They got to the quarterback this past week. Let's see if they could do that again. Some other notes for this game. So this is the Patriots' first road playoff game their last win in the road in the championship game was 2004. That's when they played the Steelers. When the Steelers had Ben Roethlisberger, that was his first year. That was when they went 15-1, something crazy like that. And the Chiefs, this is their first championship game appearance in 25 years. The last time they were there, 1994 versus the Buffalo Bills, they lost 30-13. So. It's another thing to look at. And Belichick versus Andy Reid, 6-2 record. They played in the playoffs a couple times. He beat them once a couple years ago, and the other time was in the Super Bowl. So this is Andy Reid is a good coach. He knows he always, whenever they play the Patriots, he always has a game plan that frustrates the Patriots.
It's gonna be the battle of the minds.
Yeah.
Just because Belichick's a thinker, and so is Andy Reid. Just who's going to make the better adjustments at halftime. That's probably going to determine the game.
Yeah, and the team to make the least mistakes is going to win because both of these teams are evenly matched. They both have weapons everywhere. The Chiefs might have a little more explosion on the offense, but I think the running attack kind of balances out because I think Sony Michel's a little better than Damian Williams. So.
And we have a couple more running backs.
Yeah.
A couple more options, so.
Yeah, that too. So it's going to be a good one. That was going to be a good one. Now, on to the NFC, another rematch from Week 9. The Saints won that game 45-35, and this was in the Superdome. The the Rams were able to come back. They were down a couple touchdowns, and they were able to come back tied up. But then the play that really blew the game open was, I believe, a 60-yard touchdown pass from Drew Brees to Michael Thomas. That the Rams they weren't healthy. They didn't have Aqib Talib that game. They didn't have a couple players in the secondary that game. So I think adding Aqib Talib, he could get physical with Michael Thomas, and then Marcus Peters. You know, him and Sean Payton, he had some words for Sean Payton the last time, so something about enjoying gumbo after the game. So,
well, on the Saints side of things, they can't start off against the Rams the way they did against the Eagles.
No.
That's not gonna work, and you're gonna dig yourself the worst hole.
Yeah.
So you guys just come to play, and it's gonna be a good game. But I think the Rams are gonna come out with it.
Yeah, and if the Rams get up big, they're running they'll control the ball because the Saints rush defense is not all that great, and you know you're dealing with a two-headed monster. Also, the Saints have a two-headed monster too in Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. So I think this game is definitely going to come down to which backfield produces the most.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could definitely see that. I just see the Rams just have too many pieces. The defensive lines, some dogs.
yeah,
Like, yeah. Breeze is gonna have a long day.
yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. And you know, if you take, I'm sure if you take Michael Thomas out the game, that's the key. You gotta take him out the game because he's their big play guy. You take the other guys, they make plays and stuff, but Michael Thomas, you take him out, then that eliminates the big play. But for both teams, the Saints, this is their first conference championship in 10 years. The last time was when they that was a crime what they did to Brett Favre that year in the conference championship game back in 2009. That was a crime what they did to Brett Favre. It was bad. And then they won that game and went on to win the Super Bowl. And the Rams, this is their first conference championship in 17 years. They defeated the Eagles in 2001, and you know what happened? The Patriots, they got upset by the Patriots. So it's the four best teams in the league.
yeah.
It's the four best teams. So hopefully we don't get some blowouts like last time. We get some good games. But if it's a blowout, hopefully it's the Patriots blowing somebody out. But these championship games should be very, very interesting. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be some good ones.
All right. Other NFL news: the Jets, they hire former Miami Dolphins head coach Adam Gase as their new head coach, and I don't understand this hiring whatsoever. I just don't get it. He was in Miami for about 3 years. They didn't make the playoff once. They weren't that spectacular on offense. Why? I don't get it. I don't get the hiring.
You said the Jets, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, the Jets aren't the best organization from the top down. They don't make the best decisions. They haven't really won anything ever. So they're just going to keep being who they are when they just change something in the front office somewhere.
Yeah.
Just 'cause who's making these decisions?
Yeah. This is what I don't get about the NFL. Why would you hire some guy that we just seen what he does. We just seen him. We seen what he was doing as a head coach. He didn't do nothing. He had a young quarterback in Miami. Granted, the quarterback wasn't all that good, but he had a young quarterback in Miami. He didn't develop him the way he should. So, I mean, he might hurt Sam Darnold's development.
How was he even an option out of all the other candidates?
It beats me.
Like you told me, he didn't even win. He didn't even get a playoff appearance, let alone a win. So how will you option compare to these guys who lost in the playoffs that at least made it or made it to the second round and lost?
And the other crazy thing is, before they hired him, I believe Mike McCarthy, they were talking to him. I think he had some interviews with him. I don't understand why they wouldn't hire Mike McCarthy. He's actually been to the playoffs 9 times. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been to conference championship games.
I actually know who that guy is. So
yeah.
I don't know who his other guy is. So Mike McCarthy just makes sense to me because he's a winner.
Yeah, and his offense, he's quarterback friendly. He was with Aaron Rodgers from the time he started until, helped him become a league MVP and considered one of the best QBs in the league. So he could do the same for Sam Darnold, but it don't make no sense.
But also in the NFL, they have relationships, and they might have some issues that we don't know about. We're just seeing it as it's just the black and white, not that little gray area that some people like to use as an excuse to why they don't give people opportunities.
Yeah, definitely.
So
very weird. And the Browns, they hired, this is another hire, Freddie Kitchens, he's going to be a first-time head coach. I believe he was the offensive coordinator in Arizona, I believe.
Okay.
But this is another hire. I don't know much about him. I guess maybe they're trying to make a splash, just get a first-year quarterback to go offensive guy with Baker Mayfield. Maybe he'll do well. Maybe we don't know. I just found this one to be an interesting hire.
We just have to wait and find out.
Yeah.
Just wait and see. To be honest with you, I don't know too much about him.
Me either.
I don't understand why there's so many hires of these people we don't really know much about. Like, granted, we're probably not the only people who don't know much about this guy, so I just don't understand it. There's so many other coaches you hear about all over the news or sports news that are getting fired, that are leaving places, that are just sitting around, that are calling shows. You know what I mean? I don't understand it, but whatever.
This is the Sean McVay effect because now he was a fresh, young head coach. He came up through a system, and now everybody's trying to find the next him, and it's like that's not how it works. If you're trying to find the next him, it's not going to happen because that's not the chances of that is very slim. And if you do, it's not going to be the same guy. So they're trying to do that. They're trying to find guys that have some type of connection with him, and I don't know.
Some systems just work for that individual.
Yeah.
Like Belichick's system. You're not going to find another Belichick. You're not going to find another McVay. You're not going to find another Andy Reid. Like, there's just certain people who are just good at being head coaches and schemes and things like that.
Yeah, but if you want to find a successful coach or assistant coach, you just go look at the Andy Reid coaching tree. Andy Reid, the coach, some of the guys that came up under him, they've been successful. I mean, John Harbaugh, he won a Super Bowl. He was a special teams coach. He was a special teams guy for Andy Reid for a while. So, I mean, you got Doug Peterson. He won a Super Bowl too. I think he was a coordinator or quarterbacks coach for Andy Reid when he was in Kansas City, and also when he was in Philly earlier. So, the Colts coach, another guy, he was Andy Reid, then he was with Doug Peterson. So, the Andy Reid coaching tree, they've shown a lot more success than the Bill Belichick coaching tree.
Well, maybe they don't know as much about the Andy Reid coaching tree as you do, because I didn't know that much about it either. I knew a couple things, but maybe they don't even consider that even a thought. Yeah, I don't know who's in the position to make these decisions.
No, the wrong people.
And how much they actually research, and how much they actually look at their research.
Yeah, it's the wrong people. The wrong people in position. Now, Kyler Murray declared for the NFL draft. I think he's skipping baseball, but I read something he said, if the A's want to play baseball, they gotta give him $15 million. I think him and the A's are still kind of talking about. He's declared for the NFL draft. I don't know where he's gonna go. I don't know if he's gonna be a first round pick because you're not drafting a 5'9" quarterback in the first round. It's just not happening.
I mean, I think he's just trying to weigh out his options and to try to get the best dollar, out of whichever sport he chooses. Yeah. But, I mean, if the A's is going to give him that $15 million, I'll throw a baseball around. So, and like I said, the probability of you being a successful 5'9" quarterback in the NFL is tough. Like, how tall is Russell Wilson? Like 5'10", 5'11"? Yeah. So, and he's exceptional. And there aren't that many of them. So I want to say you go with your opportunity. Yeah, you go. You have your hot end. You have the best opportunity and longevity for your career.
If I was him, I'd go baseball. Fully guaranteed money.
And you could play for like 20-something years.
Yeah, I don't got to deal with concussions or bodily pains when I get older. It's baseball. He should go. Maybe he could do both. Maybe he could pull a Deion Sanders. Maybe, but that's even rare because, I mean, Deion, he was something else athletically. So, but if I was Kyle, I'd go to baseball. Give me that $15 million guaranteed right up front.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good luck to him with the NFL. But right now they're saying he probably won't be a first round pick. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. The Arizona Cardinals coach, they got the #1 pick, and he's already said, if I was in the NFL, I'd take Murray in the first round with the first pick. So that's something to look at.
Yeah, we gotta wait and see.
Well, you can see. All right, it's time for the NBA. Give you NBA updates. We're gonna talk a little about the Celtics. So the Celtics, yeah, they're kind of in a slide right now. So they won 5 in a row, and then they followed that up by losing 3 straight games to the Magic, the Heat, and the Nets, which is not good. If you're a championship caliber team, you cannot be losing to teams that are below 500. And my thing with this team, they have too many bad habits. Way too many bad habits. One of the bad habits is the effort. The effort's not always there for an entire game. For instance, the Magic game, they had a double-digit lead at one point in the fourth quarter, and then they just, defensively, they stopped giving effort. They were giving the Magic open shots, and then this team just got too many bad habits.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many guys. I don't know if some guys are getting aggravated with playing time and not seeing the ball as much as they were last year, just because they had way more opportunities, but certain guys were injured. But now that everybody's back, you just got to figure it out. Plus, I always feel like some of these guys don't even take some of these teams seriously when they see them on the schedule, especially this early in the season. Like, it's not even at All-Star break yet.
Yeah.
It's creeping up on us, but, it's not even there yet. So I feel like the second half of the season, they'll turn it up.
Yeah.
And they'll be a well-oiled machine.
That's my thing. That's why I don't get too overly dramatic about it, but it's just the bad habits that drive me crazy. For like Jaylen Brown, he has too many he'll commit 2 to 3 silly fouls that he don't need to commit, and oftentimes he'll have a guy 3-4 inches smaller than him, and he'll settle for the jump shot instead of put his back to the basket and just take it to the rim. When I've seen him do it numerous times when he had a smaller guy, he'll just take it to the rim. He's either getting 2 points or he's getting fouled. He doesn't do that on a consistent basis. Jason Tatum, he falls. He doesn't attack the rim as well as he should, because he can get to the rim easily, and so sometimes he settles for that jump shot too much. I think this team shoots too many times. This team shoots too much, and they're not all of them are great shooters. That's one problem with them.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. And you got to be strategic when playing basketball. Basketball is like chess. Like, you don't want to be predictable.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're going to have to go with the cup. And you're more likely to get the layup than your jumper. Like, granted, you could be the greatest shooter in the world, and you're most likely going to finish a layup before you just make a jumper. That's just normal logic. Like, you're closer to the hoop, you got opportunity to get fouled as well to get additional point. So I don't understand why they don't, but you know how they get. Some guys just get caught up in just shooting that J.
Yeah, definitely. And they've never addressed the rebounding issue too. They got Robert Williams on the bench. That dude, when he gets in the game, he actually does stuff when he gets in the game. Not on offense, he just defensively, he hustles, he grabs the rebounds, he alters shots, and he runs the floor well for a big man. So I think he's still learning. So I mean, maybe after the All-Star break they'll increase his minutes a couple more. But the times he's gotten in the game, he's done good things. So.
Yeah, some of the blocks I've seen that man have, I was like, how'd you get that?
Yeah.
But sometimes you need a guy that's gonna do the dirty work. You need a couple of them, like Marcus Smart and Williams as well. So he's gonna get his time. He just has to learn more and get stronger and learn more, just understand the game.
Yeah, so they're up tonight. They got a big game tonight against the Toronto Raptors. That's a good one. That's gonna be a good one. Hopefully they don't get blown out, but we'll see. Now the Warriors, these guys last night, they were 51 points in the first quarter, 10 for 10 from the 3-point line. Kevin Durant was 7 for 7. Curry and Thompson each had 30 points. Durant finished with 27 points. I think this game just, I don't know, the Nuggets were the number 1 team in the West the entire season so far. And I think this game, I think it was just like, listen, we're the champs. We're just reminding everybody what we're capable of.
Yeah, that's really what it was. Like, there really wasn't nothing else about it. I'm sure they don't take it too seriously, like, oh, the Nuggets number 1 team in the league. Like, everybody know what the best team in the NBA is, so they just had to come out there and show them. Yeah. That's really it, all that was.
I mean, if these guys are making 10 for 10 in the first quarter, there's not much you can do about that. And Boogie's coming back Friday, first game back, and just pick and roll with Boogie and Kevin Durant.
We have to see how that's going to go
Yeah.
because certain shots are going to be taken away from certain people. So hopefully they can continue to be efficient.
Yeah.
Because Boogie's he's gonna take some shots where Cousins my guy. So I can't wait to see him back on the court.
The good thing about him, he can rebound. That's one thing that this team doesn't really have. They've never had it through this championship run with somebody who just grab rebounds and this is you bringing in a 28, 26, and 10 guy.
And you don't have to rely on the jumper as much because you can throw it in the Boogie and let him get busy and let him slow the game down and get people in foul trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially the bigs.
And it's gonna take a lot to beat this team. you have to be on your A++ game to beat this team.
It's gonna take Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes.
It's legit, legit. Suck all the powers from them or something. But and with the West is, if you're not hitting threes, you're not gonna beat them. You really. If you can't make at least 10 threes in the game, you're not gonna beat them.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat enough twos to beat the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, so
that's just how it goes.
Yeah, so that was big for them. Now James Harden is still on his scoring streak. He had 57 the other night. I get in 34 minutes or something like that. He lost another one of his. He lost Clint Capella for a couple weeks now, so now the scoring load for him has to go up now because he's losing everybody.
I mean, he's built for it.
Yeah.
He's built for it. I'm not surprised at this. I always thought he was a great scorer. He just figured it out now.
Yeah.
He figured it out, and I can't wait to see what he's gonna do next.
Yeah, he might go for 80.
Now, was 57 his career high?
I think he might have had a 61
60.
game.
I mean, I'm waiting for that 60 to come up.
Yeah, he may have, but this is some type of streak. They said Kobe had this streak. Kobe was the last guy to do something like this, the streak that James Harden had. Granted,
And who
Kobe
was the
took a
last
lot
guy?
of shots.
And who was before Kobe? Probably Jordan.
Probably Jordan.
So, like I said, every like 10, 15 years, a guy that comes around just lights it up.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing him and Kobe both have, these streaks, they weren't that efficient, but
and think about James Harden, he actually is an efficient basketball player. That's one thing I'll give James Harden. Like he'll give you some buckets on a small amount of shots.
Yeah, one game he made 6 field goals and scored 40 points, and he took like 27 free throws.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's one thing about James Harden. The refs love him.
Oh yeah, I mean he gets the contact and he's a wide body. He ain't no small guy.
He's stiff. He's stiff. All right, other NBA news. This one, Enes Kanter versus the Turkish government. This has been going on for at least a year or two now. So the Knicks have a game in London coming up, and Kanter isn't going to that game because he feels for his life because the Turkish government are on him. He's pretty much a wanted man by the Turkish government. I think he criticized whoever the leader is.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, and now, I remember they detained him. The one year they detained him at the airport, and they weren't trying to let him come back to the U.S. So he's staying here when the Knicks go to London, and now the Turkish government are trying to extradite him. They're putting in paperwork to extradite him to Turkey. I don't think it's going to happen, but they're trying to get him extradited.
I just see that's just petty to me.
Yeah.
Like, let the man have his opinion. He's on U.S. soil. We have freedom of speech in the country we're from. If he was on your soil and was saying that, I get it. Do what you need to do with him, however you feel. But, respect the man's rights when he's on U.S. soil. But at some point, people gotta get thicker skin. Like he should be allowed to say how he feels about the government if it's unjust or if they're, I want to say, corrupt or whatever. I don't know what they are. I'm not saying nothing about them. I don't need them trying to. Hey, I go to London. All these folks running up on me, but.
Yeah, and you know who's? Who's leading this extradition? Hedo Turkoglu.
He's leading that.
I think he criticized Enes last week about it, and I think he's one of the people that's trying to get him back there.
That guy's a clown.
Yeah.
Like that guy's a clown. As a man, you should be able to voice your opinion, and people either accept it or not. But that's just how it is. Like there should be no repercussions for you just voicing your opinion. If you're not threatening anybody, you just voicing his opinion about a man who apparently has an ego that's bigger than I don't know what.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like, and it happened years ago. I asked you before the show, like, wasn't it years ago?
Yeah,
it's
was
the
like
same story. Like, let it go.
Yeah, foreign powers. This is what happens with dictatorships and stuff like that. We won't get into that.
Keyword.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick Collison is getting his jersey retired by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Nick Collison, yeah, he was with them when they were in Seattle, and he was with them. He's never played for any other team, so they're retiring his jersey. I mean, this is interesting to me because Nick Collison really didn't play much for them. He was kind of those role guys. He'll come in when it's a blowout or when all else fails, just put Nick Collison in to kill time. But I don't know why they're retiring his jersey.
I've seen interviews and people say he's like the best teammate.
That's good.
And we was talking before, like, it's great that he played his whole career there. But, like, people, stop giving these guys accolades and awards just because you like them.
Right.
Like, that's great. There's a lot of pros and legends years ago that aren't in the Hall of Fame. They're just not in the Hall of Fame. Like, they were great. They just weren't that great. Like, a lot of people, like, that jersey thing's big. But if it's only there, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. He's a hometown favorite. I don't know if he's from that area.
From Iowa.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Even last night, the Hawks gave a video tribute to Dennis Schroeder.
Once again, this stuff's it's very watered down nowadays. Like, so they just giving anybody a video tribute. They just hanging anybody jersey up. Granted, Collison is not just anybody. He probably does a lot of community work too.
Probably.
So all that, they probably try to add that up, kind of like some Hall of Fame inductees. They do a lot of extra stuff and it gets thrown in. So I don't know, man. Like, I'm just not that sensitive to just be liking somebody enough to put his jersey in the Raptors for years. Like,
last I checked, they hang people's jersey up for their accomplishments on the court.
Yeah.
In college, they hang your jerseys up for your accomplishment on the court. High school, accomplishments on the court. NBA, accomplishments on the court. Not because people like you.
That's the world we live in. You didn't know?
Yeah,
That's the world we live in, man.
Yeah,
Can't ruffle no feathers.
Yeah, definitely. Our last NBA news, Dennis Smith Jr., second-year player. He's on the trading block. The Mavericks are obviously there. When I read this the other day, they're trying to get him out of there. They're trying to ship him out there, actively trying to trade him. Two of the destinations I heard were Orlando and Phoenix. Those were the two destinations. Phoenix is like basketball Siberia right now. I don't know about
I mean, he go to Phoenix, though. That might be tough with him, Booker, Ayton. I mean, if they don't request any of those guys in return, but that might be tough out there. And you got Kelly Oubre out there. So I mean, if they keep that, if they happen to get him for the Suns, but Orlando's, I feel, is more like Siberia just because they don't win. Like, they're not really.
It's Orlando.
Oh, Orlando's a fun time. It's a fun time, but he's trying to win and be able to play with a star too. Booker's a star. I don't know who Orlando has compared to Booker.
Booker needs to stop with all them baby mamas.
He got a lot of kids?
No, this dude got like 3.
Oh, I mean.
All at the same time, currently.
Oh, man. Mac Daddy.
Yeah, right?
I ain't mad at you.
They said he got his high school sweetheart pregnant, then he got an IG model pregnant, and then another one.
I mean, he light-skinned, man,
He's being extremely light-skinned. There's some light brothers on the table. We ain't like that, but we get discriminated for other light-skinned behaviors.
Yeah, I only got one baby.
I got none, so. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why they would trade him, but he's a second-year player. Maybe I think it's because Luka is just
I probably
off the hook.
mean
Luka is just
he need free reign. He doesn't need somebody to share the ball with. Unfortunately, like Luka's that guy. Like Luka's already a pro. He's a pro before he got to the league. So now he's just figuring out what the league's about, and now he's getting a step back from anywhere on the court.
Yeah, that step back's lethal.
Hitting people with fake passes. And Dennis Smith, and Luka do both. Dennis Smith can really just go to the cup.
Yeah, Luka,
And he clogs it up sometimes. So that's why I think Dennis Smith would work well with the Suns, because he get to the cup, kick it to Booker.
Luka's the first. I don't know who was the last rookie that I seen that come into the NBA and was ready, NBA ready. I don't know. I think AI, yeah. LeBron.
Other than LeBron,
but LeBron.
LeBron's like LeBron. He's like a man. He's like a built man. But AI was a little guy like me.
Luka. He's just.
But Luka, big guy too, though. So
he's like 6'8".
Yeah, 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah. So all right. Dennis Smith, you might end up in Phoenix or Orlando.
Brandon Roy was nice his rookie year.
Yeah, he was.
Brandon Roy was
4-year
nice.
starter in college.
Yeah, he was nice.
We got Athletes Corner. Athletes Corner. Athletes Corner. Go to Athletes Corner. I forgot who we had on Athletes Corner, but yeah. We're going to come back and wrap it up. Welcome to another edition of Athletes Corner. We got some boxing champions here. We got Charles Espinal and we got Alex Sepulveda Jr. What's going on? He nervous. This is his first time on TV, so he nervous. We're going to get him comfortable. We're going to get him first. We're going to talk with Charlie. You won the Rock 2018 or 2019, whatever year it was.
It was 2018.
2018 Rocky Marciano Championship. Talk about that.
Last year was a really big year. 2018, we won national tournament. We won the regional tournament. We went to a national tournament. We won Rocky Marciano's, which is a huge New England tournament, so that's a regional tournament. And we won a belt for that, and it was a really good experience. Won 3 fights to win that belt. Now we're going into the Golden Gloves off that fresh victory.
How many fights did you have last year? 'Cause I know you had quite a few. You've been going around.
Probably like 20.
20? Those were throughout the country.
Throughout the year,
Yeah.
throughout the country as well.
Talk about some of those fights that you were in different states.
In different states. I love going out to different states because one, you get different styles. Also, you get different looks from different people, and like that's where your fan base grows when you go to different states. And then the national tournaments is such a huge networking thing because you're in a boxing convention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're meeting people that you'll see on Instagram, but you never see in real life.
Yeah.
You're meeting people that have the same amount of experience as you, fighting people that have the same amount of experience as you, and then even after the fights are done, it's all nothing but love, and that's really key for the sport. And fighting, I've had some chances to fight on undercards in pro amateur bouts, which is half the bout sheet is amateur, and then the other half is professional.
Yeah.
And those kind of cards are awesome because all these professional fans they love amateur fights.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Alex, how long have you been fighting?
Like over 6 months, I think.
What got you into boxing?
My dad.
Your dad?
Yeah.
From him training or just being around him and seeing him doing what he does with the people in Lynn?
Doing with the people in Lynn.
All right, so you're a champion too.
Yeah.
You won the New England Silver Gloves.
Yeah.
How was that? Tell me about that experience you had.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It really took not a long time, but it was pretty hard to get through.
What was your mindset going? When it was all happening, what were you thinking after you won the whole thing? After you gone through it, you won. What was going through your mind?
Really nothing. I was just happy I won.
Yeah. So now you won this. What are you looking to get out of boxing as you continue on? You get older and you learn more.
I really don't know.
Yeah. You're just having fun with it right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the most fun thing about boxing?
Like the experience I get.
Yeah, that's good. You think you can take me?
Sure.
You sure?
Yeah.
I got quick hands too. Yeah. I'm done. You probably beat me. Now, Charlie, you're soon to turn pro. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, talk about that.
Well, I'm really excited to start my professional career because I've been an amateur for 10 years, and I'm sparring top-level amateurs, I'm sparring top-level pros, and we're really working with the right people, and I can't wait to actually, because, my fan base right now is only limited to amateurs, and once I go pro, it's going to grow, and I can't wait to see that grow into what it is.
Yeah, definitely, and you guys, Private Jewels got a lot of fighters, young and old, Olympic qualifiers. You guys been doing Olympic training. Talk about the Olympic training with the New England team. Some of the other fighters that you guys been working with.
Well, yeah, some of the other fighters we've been working with, they're great. Like Moise, he was one of them. He went to Puerto Rico, unfortunately, but he is another, he was one of the guys that really inspired me to really push myself, and then some of the other guys, when we got to national tournaments and Olympic qualifying tournaments from the New England team, really helped push me as well. And training for the Olympics, it was fun and it was great, and I learned so much just being around these people. It's a great experience.
Yeah. Little man, for you, what is it like seeing Alex? How much does he talk to you about some certain things about boxing? Do you ask him for advice? What are some things that you've learned from him?
Like, to always love sparring. It's almost like a real fight. Like, never quit.
Yeah, and also just being around the older guys or being around the gym, what are some of the things that you picked up for yourself that you work on the side when no one's looking?
To always never quit and keep going and going and don't stop.
All right, so you won this New England Silver Gloves. So what's next for you? What are some other things that you're looking forward to win?
I really don't know. But my favorite part about boxing is, like, never quit.
Never quit. Never quitting. That's a life skill that you're gonna, as you get older, you're gonna realize that's something to take with you. Never quitting, especially if you're doing something that you really enjoy doing. But when are we gonna see you two sparring with each other? You should spar with him now. I think you got him. I think you can get him.
I might have to be on my knees. He's not bad.
He's not bad. No, I mean he's out here winning gloves. I couldn't even box when I was his age. So this is really good. Now talk about Rashidi. She's out there in Colorado right now training for the Olympics. Talk about seeing her doing that for you guys.
That's my homegirl. I love Rashida. I love the whole Ellis family because I fought Rashidi in the amateurs for my first open fight, and ever since that, it really opened up my eyes to the reality of the sport and how good you really have to be to make it. And me working with her, training with her, hanging out with her, it inspires me because her dream is the Olympic dream. And she loves the sport so much, where she's willing to just have fun with it the whole way. And that really inspires me because I started boxing because I loved it for fun. It was something that kept me off the streets, something that gave me discipline. And it's something I still love to do. Being around her, it's inspirational because I see how hard she works still to this day and what she sacrifices.
Yeah, and you guys, because there are a lot of people that come through the gym, a lot of kids too. A lot of kids come through that gym. Just talk about being able to help the kids. You got Alex right here. You got some other kids.
That's a huge part of why we're still doing what we do because not just the reason why I love boxing is not because it only inspires me myself to do better, but it also inspires others, whether I realize it or not. And that's something that's key. And as I turn pro, I want to keep inspiring people. You don't have to be what society wants you to be. You don't have to be what your environment wants you to be. You can break free and be who you want to be and succeed no matter where you come from, because I do believe it's not where you come from, it's where you're going.
Yeah, definitely. And lastly, you guys want to say anything to everybody that's been supporting you? Let's start with you first. You want to tell anything?
To never quit.
Anything else? Never quit. That's what he said. Charlie, you want to say anything?
Yeah, man. I love all the support from everybody. I love the support we get from you guys, the city of Lynn, city of Salem, all of Massachusetts, out of state. I love all the support, and I appreciate everybody for supporting us.
All right. Keep supporting them. They got winning championships and stuff like that, all that good stuff. Boxing is definitely making a return in Lynn, Mass because of Alex and, the participants. So everybody go support the boxers out there. And good luck. Rashidi, she's out there in Colorado. I think one of her brothers got a fight in February.
Yeah, Akeem.
Akeem got a fight in February.
On Showtime, the new generation.
Yeah, make sure everybody check that out on Showtime. So Athletes Corner, we out of here. Take it easy, guys. All right. Thanks to the folks at Private Jewels. Thanks to Charlie and Alex Jr. They had silver gloves last week, last Thursday up there in Lowell. We'll get you guys an update of what happened over there. But yeah, shout out to them. All right, we got about 5 minutes left, so we're going to run through some stuff real quickly. College basketball AP top 25, it's all the same team. The usuals. Duke is still number 1. You got Michigan's number 2, Tennessee's number 3, Virginia's number 4. Michigan, they've been playing well. They've been playing well all season.
Balling, but ain't Duke gonna drop though?
Yeah, they're gonna drop them. It's for next week because they've dropped 2 in a row. They lost. No, was it 2 in a row?
They lost it at the Cuse.
They lost to Syracuse. They won on the buzzer beater at Florida State. And did you see that play?
Oh yeah.
The Florida State.
Oh, come on, boy, Cam Reddish, man.
He was wide open. They're like, what are you doing?
I thought they were gonna have somebody cut to the basket, but they just had somebody pop out.
No, they had somebody dive to the basket, and then the person that was supposed to guard Reddish followed the guy that was diving, and that's how he got.
Well, I thought they were gonna have all that action going up top, and somebody just cut to the basket for the layup. But instead, they had all that action down low. Somebody just popped up, which is Reddish, and I like Reddish, man.
Yeah, you can never leave a shooter wide open.
And he was wide open. Like, he was butt naked open. He could have got changed in 2 outfits. Like.
Yeah. Also, North Carolina, they dropped again. They lost their home opener to Louisville. They got ran out the gym, but they won last night. So Virginia blew the brakes off Virginia Tech. They blew the brakes off them last night. And Marquette, that's one team. That's a surprising team. This guy, what's his name again? Marcus Howard.
That boy be balling.
Yeah, he
had like 50 a couple weeks ago, right?
53 against Creighton last Wednesday. He had 53. To follow that up with a 26-point game against Xavier in the win. They lost to St. John's the other day, but St. John's, no, not that. That wasn't the other day. That was earlier this month. They're on a 4-game winning streak, I should say. They beat Georgetown last night by 3 points, but Howard played 30 seconds and sat out. But a lot of the premier powers are coming back. St. John's is coming back.
I mean, Georgetown ain't bad. Mahoya guys, so they doing
Mac,
all right.
That boy Mac.
Yeah, they balling.
Yeah, so college basketball is exciting right now. Zion took somebody's soul the other day. I don't know if that boy from Syracuse is ever going to take a charge again, but you can see his soul leave his body when he took that charge. So, that's my home. But yeah, that's our college basketball. That's college basketball right there. A lot going on. It's only January. They're all in conference play, so we're gonna keep you guys updated as the season goes on. And quickly, high school hoops tonight. Tonight they got English versus classical. Everybody go there. Girls are at classical, boys are at English. So check that out. Championship predictions. What you got?
I got the Pats versus who the Saints play?
Rams.
Oh yeah, Pats versus Rams. Long day, man. Long day.
Yeah, I have the Pats, and Todd Gurley's he's probably one of my favorite players in the league. So I want the Rams. Pats versus Rams, Super Bowl. Book it. We called it. We are out of here. We'll see you guys sometime next week. We're closed on Monday. It's MLK Day, so we'll be back. So yeah, check us out. www.linntv.org, Facebook Lynn TV, and all that other stuff. Just go to the website. For me and Todd, we're out of here. See you guys.